Along the sun-drenched coastline of Southern California, where the Santa Ynez Mountains gently slope towards the sea, lies a small, densely packed community. This is Isla Vista. It is a place perched quite literally on the edge of the continent, a flat mesa of land bounded on three sides by the immense, shimmering expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Its beaches are legendary, with sands that shift from pale gold to a soft, dusky white. The air here carries the constant rhythmic sigh of the waves and the salty tang of the sea spray. It is a landscape of remarkable, almost theatrical beauty, a sliver of paradise seemingly carved out for dreamers and sunseekers alike. To the east, the community nestles against the sprawling campus of the University of California, Santa Barbara, its manicured lawns and modern architecture a stark contrast to the untamed ocean. A short journey away lies Santa Barbara City College, another wellspring of youthful energy that flows into this tiny town. Isla Vista, therefore, exists in a unique symbiosis with these great institutions of learning. It serves as a dormitory, a playground, and a crucible for tens of thousands of young people embarking on one of life's most formative chapters. The very atmosphere seems to hum with potential and the vibrant, sometimes chaotic energy of youth. One cannot overstate the sheer physical splendor of this location. Dolphins can often be seen arcing through the waves just beyond the surf line, their sleek bodies catching the afternoon light. Great flocks of brown pelicans glide in perfect formation, their wingtips almost brushing the surface of the water as they hunt for fish. The kelp forests offshore teem with a rich diversity of marine life, a hidden world of wonders that underscores the area's natural abundance. It is a habitat not just for humans but for a remarkable array of wildlife, all drawn to the life-giving power of the Pacific. On any given day, the cliffs of Isla Vista offer a spectacle of natural grandeur. As the sun begins its descent, the sky is painted in breathtaking hues of orange, pink, and deep violet, a daily masterpiece reflected in the placid ocean waters. It is a scene that inspires a sense of profound awe and tranquility. This is the image of Isla Vista that lives in the popular imagination, a coastal idyll, a place of endless summer and untroubled existence. It presents an almost perfect picture of the Californian dream, a vision so compelling that it seems almost immune to hardship or sorrow. But appearances, as we know, can be profoundly deceptive. In the closing weeks of 2024, a report sent ripples of shock and dismay not just through this community, but across the nation. The financial analytics company WalletHub, in its comprehensive survey of over 1,300 small cities in the United States, delivered a startling verdict. Using a meticulous framework of 45 key indicators designed to measure livability, the study ranked Isla Vista dead last. It was a designation that felt both brutal and bewildering. The worst small town in America. This tiny coastal enclave, celebrated for its scenic beauty, was now wearing a crown of thorns, its idyllic image shattered by a barrage of unflattering statistics. The WalletHub report was not a casual observation, but a deep, data-driven analysis. It scrutinized everything from economic health and affordability to safety and quality of life. For Isla Vista, the results were damning. It found itself at the absolute bottom in the first percentile, a statistical anomaly of struggle. While other Californian towns like Los Altos and Palo Alto basked in the glow of high rankings, Isla Vista was cast into a harsh, unflattering spotlight. The very name became synonymous with failure, a shorthand for a community beleaguered by problems so severe they overshadowed even its spectacular natural setting. This declaration was more than just a headline. It was an indictment. It forced a confrontation with a reality that many had perhaps chosen to ignore or had simply failed to see beneath the surface of vibrant student life. How could a place so blessed by nature be so cursed by circumstance? The report's findings peeled back the layers of sun-soaked paradise to reveal a core of profound and systemic hardship. The label acted as a mirror, reflecting a distorted, troubled image of the town that conflicted sharply with the postcard-perfect views from its cliffs. It was a wake-up call, delivered with the cold, impartial force of data. The community was left to grapple with this new, unwanted identity. For the students, long-term residents, and local officials, the ranking was a public declaration of their private struggles. It validated the persistent whispers of economic distress and social imbalance that had circulated for years. The title of Worst Small Town was a heavy burden to bear, one that demanded an explanation. It prompted a deeper look into the intricate web of factors that had conspired to push this seemingly blessed community to the very bottom of the ladder, compelling a difficult but necessary conversation about its future. At the heart of Isla Vista's unfortunate ranking lies a story of profound economic distress. The Wallet Hub report exposed a financial ecosystem in a state of near collapse. Among all the small cities surveyed, Isla Vista recorded the lowest median annual household income. This single statistic speaks volumes about the financial reality for those who call this place home. In a state renowned for its wealth and economic dynamism, this community stands as a stark outlier, an island of poverty amidst an ocean of prosperity. The gap is staggering. The highest-ranked towns in the study boast median incomes nearly 11 times greater than that of Isla Vista. This lack of income is inextricably linked to another grim statistic. Isla Vista has the highest percentage of its population living below the poverty line. It is a level of destitution that is almost unheard of in other small towns, some of which have poverty rates over 36 times lower. This is not a case of a few families struggling to make ends meet. It is a pervasive condition that defines the economic landscape of the entire community. The high concentration of students, many of whom work part-time or not at all while pursuing their studies, contributes significantly to these figures, painting a picture of a population unable to secure a stable financial footing. The economic malaise extends to the very nature of work itself. The report found that residents of Isla Vista work on average the fewest hours per week compared to any other small city in the nation. This points to a labor market that is precarious and insufficient, dominated by low-wage, part-time jobs in the service sector that are unable to provide a living wage. The transient nature of the student population creates a cycle of temporary employment, discouraging the growth of stable, long-term careers. For those who are not students, the lack of diverse employment opportunities presents a formidable barrier to economic mobility. These factors, low income, high poverty, and underemployment, combine to create a perfect storm of economic hardship. The town's economic health was ranked at the very bottom, a clear indicator of a system failing its inhabitants. The youthful energy and intellectual pursuits of the university environment mask a harsh reality of financial insecurity. For thousands of its residents, life in Isla Vista is a constant struggle to cover basic necessities, a daily battle against a tide of economic forces that seem overwhelmingly powerful. It is a narrative of survival, not prosperity, played out against a backdrop of stunning natural beauty. The economic despair that defines Isla Vista is not an abstract concept. It manifests in the daily lives of its residents in tangible and often painful ways. The high poverty rate means that a significant portion of the population lives in a state of constant financial precarity. This translates into difficult choices between paying for textbooks or buying groceries, between covering rent or seeking medical care. For many, the dream of a university education is pursued under the heavy shadow of debt and deprivation. The intellectual vibrancy of the university town is thus juxtaposed with the silent anxieties of students struggling to stay afloat. Furthermore, the lack of steady, well-paying work has profound long-term consequences. It traps residents in a cycle of poverty that is incredibly difficult to escape. Without access to jobs that offer benefits, security, and opportunities for advancement, individuals are unable to build savings, invest in their futures, or plan for emergencies. This creates a fragile community, one where a single unexpected expense, a car repair, a medical bill, can trigger a full-blown financial crisis. The economic structure of Isla Vista effectively stunts the potential of its inhabitants, limiting their horizons to the immediate challenge of getting by. This pervasive financial hardship also takes a toll on the mental and emotional well-being of the community. The constant stress of living on the economic edge can lead to anxiety, depression, and a sense of hopelessness. The pressure to succeed academically is compounded by the immense pressure to survive financially. This creates an environment where the joys of youth and learning are often overshadowed by worry. The carefree image of a student town belies a much more complex and often painful reality, one where the pursuit of knowledge comes at a significant personal cost for many. Ultimately, the economic landscape of Isla Vista reveals a fundamental disconnect. Here is a community physically connected to one of the world's leading public universities, a hub of innovation and intellectual capital, yet its own economy is faltering. The wealth of knowledge and opportunity generated by the university does not seem to translate into broad-based prosperity for the town itself. Instead, Isla Vista remains an economic backwater, its residents cut off from the very engines of growth that sit on their doorstep. It is a paradox that lies at the core of the town's identity and its struggles. Perhaps no issue illustrates the plight of Isla Vista more starkly than its housing crisis. The town has been described as the epicenter of Santa Barbara County's housing emergency, a place where the basic human need for shelter has become a source of immense stress and instability. The 2024 Wallet Hub report confirmed this in no uncertain terms, ranking Isla Vista as the worst in the nation for affordability. This is not simply a matter of high prices. It is a market so distorted and so expensive that it has become fundamentally broken. The cost of housing here is the highest among all small cities surveyed, which is honestly astonishing for a community with the lowest median income. This extreme unaffordability has devastating consequences. For students and other low-income residents, finding a place to live is a frantic, desperate scramble. Rents are pushed to astronomical levels by relentless demand and a limited supply, with landlords often charging per person for shared rooms in crowded, poorly maintained properties. It's not uncommon for 2 or even 3 students to share a single bedroom, paying a premium for the privilege. This situation creates a powerful imbalance, leaving tenants with little to no bargaining power and honestly vulnerable to exploitation. The dream of independent living is replaced by the reality of cramped, overpriced, and often substandard accommodation. The crisis extends beyond just high rents. Isla Vista has the second lowest home ownership rate in the entire country. The possibility of buying a home here, of putting down roots and building equity, is an impossible fantasy for all but a tiny, privileged few. This creates a community that is, well, perpetually transient, with a population that turns over almost completely every 4 years. There is little incentive for long-term investment in the community, either financially or socially, when nearly everyone is just passing through. This lack of stability undermines the very fabric of the town, preventing the development of a cohesive, resilient community. The situation has been exacerbated by shocking events, such as one of California's largest mass evictions, which further highlighted the vulnerability of tenants. Santa Barbara County Supervisor Laura Capps has publicly acknowledged the severity of the crisis, speaking of the urgent need for more affordable and safe housing. Yet, the problem persists, a seemingly intractable challenge. The struggle for a roof over one's head is the defining feature of life in Isla Vista, a constant grinding battle that overshadows all else. It is a housing market that serves no one but the property owners, leaving thousands of its inhabitants in a state of perpetual housing insecurity. To truly understand the reality of Isla Vista, one must listen to the voices of those who navigate its streets every day. Their perspectives provide a rich, textured narrative that statistics alone just can't capture. Derek Dela Cruz, a UCSB student, articulated a common triad of complaints. He spoke of the extraordinarily high rent, a financial burden that is a constant source of stress. He also mentioned the questionable cleanliness of many rental properties, a testament to the neglect that often accompanies a landlord's market. And of course, he pointed to the pervasive party culture, a defining characteristic of student life that is both a source of social connection and a frequent cause of conflict and disruption. This party culture is not just an internal affair. It spills out into the public domain. Christopher Rogers, a security officer who works in the area, described how student parties frequently block the streets on weekends. The town transforms into a massive, open-air celebration, with crowds of young people moving between houses, their energy and noise dominating the soundscape. While for many students this is a cherished part of the university experience, for other residents and for law enforcement, it represents a weekly challenge to public order and safety, a predictable pattern of chaos that must be managed and contained. Another resident, Aaron Richard, highlighted a more mundane but equally frustrating aspect of daily life, the crazy parking situation. In a town so densely populated with so many vehicles crammed into such a small space, finding a place to park is a daily ordeal. He spoke of a culture of carelessness, where cars are treated with little respect, accumulating dents and scratches as a matter of course. This seemingly minor inconvenience is symbolic of a larger issue, the strain placed on public infrastructure by a population that far exceeds the town's capacity. It is a constant, low-level irritant that adds to the overall stress of living here. These voices, taken together, paint a picture of a community under pressure. They speak of the financial strain of high rents, the social friction caused by a relentless party scene, and the logistical headaches of overcrowding. These are the day-to-day realities that exist beneath the glossy surface of a beach town. They are the struggles that the Wallet Hub report quantified but could not fully describe. They are the echoes from the streets of Isla Vista, a chorus of frustration, resilience, and youthful exuberance, all intermingled in this unique and challenging environment. Life here is a complex tapestry woven from these competing threads. The most striking feature of Isla Vista is its profound and unsettling duality. It's a place where breathtaking natural beauty exists side by side with deep-seated social and economic problems. One can stand on the edge of a crumbling cliff in Del Playa Drive, watching the sunset paint the sky in glorious colors, while just a few feet away lies a dilapidated, overcrowded apartment building where students are paying extortionate rents. This stark contrast is not just occasional. It is the fundamental, defining characteristic of the town. Paradise and Predicament are not neighbors here. They are intertwined, occupying the very same space. The natural world seems blissfully unaware of the human struggles playing out on the land. The gentle sea breeze that rustles through the palm trees carries no hint of the economic anxiety that grips the population. The dolphins that leap from the waves do so in a world apart from the housing crisis unfolding on the shore. This juxtaposition can be jarring. It creates a sense of cognitive dissonance, a feeling that this beautiful place should not be home to such hardship. The splendor of the environment almost seems to mock the struggles of its inhabitants, highlighting the chasm between the world as it is and the world as it should be. This contrast is also reflected in the town's rankings. While Isla Vista was condemned to last place overall and for its economy and affordability, it scored surprisingly well in one area: quality of life. It ranked 195th out of over 1,300 cities, placing it in the top 15%. This paradoxical result speaks volumes. The access to beautiful parks, the pleasant climate, the walkability, and the sheer number of young people all contribute to a quality of life that, in some respects, is genuinely high. The very things that make Isla Vista beautiful and vibrant are what salvage its reputation, even as its economic foundations crumble. This tale of two worlds poses a difficult question. What is the true nature of a place? Is it defined by its physical environment or by the social conditions of its people? In Isla Vista, these two realities are in constant tension. The allure of the landscape draws people in, while the harsh economic conditions threaten to push them out. It's a community that offers the best of nature and, in some ways, the worst of society. Living here means navigating this contradiction every single day, finding moments of joy and beauty amidst a backdrop of systemic failure and struggle. The paradox of Isla Vista is that its greatest strengths are also the source of its most profound weaknesses. Its proximity to UCSB and the Pacific Ocean is its primary appeal, the very reason for its existence. This location is what draws tens of thousands of students, creating a vibrant, energetic, and youthful community. It's this constant influx of young people that fuels its social scene and gives the town its unique character. The demand to live in this specific, desirable half-square mile is immense. It is, by all accounts, a place where people desperately want to be, at least for a few formative years of their lives. However, this same intense demand, concentrated in such a small geographical area, is precisely what drives the housing crisis. With a captive audience of students needing to live close to campus, landlords hold all the power. They can charge exorbitant rents for properties that, in any other market, would be considered inadequate. The desirability of the location creates a ruthless, predatory housing market that is the primary driver of the town's affordability crisis. The very thing that makes Isla Vista a paradise, its location, is what makes it for many an economic hell. Similarly, the demographic makeup of the town, overwhelmingly young and transient, contributes to both its vibrancy and its problems. The concentration of young people creates a dynamic social environment and a strong sense of shared experience. Yet, this same transience means there is little long-term investment in the community. Residents who are only there for a few years are less likely to engage in local politics, advocate for tenants' rights, or work towards long-term solutions. This leaves the town vulnerable to neglect and exploitation as each new generation of students confronts the same old problems anew, without the benefit of institutional memory or sustained civic engagement. This creates a self-perpetuating cycle. The town's reputation as a party destination attracts students seeking that experience, which reinforces the party culture. The high demand for housing keeps rents high, which ensures a high poverty rate among a student population with limited income. The transient nature of the residents inhibits the development of a stable community that could advocate for change. Isla Vista is trapped in a paradoxical loop, where the very elements that define it also conspire to create the conditions for its ranking as the worst small town in America. It's a beautiful trap, a paradise that comes at an impossibly high price. To label Isla Vista as simply the worst small town in America is to accept a caricature, a one-dimensional summary of a complex and multifaceted reality. While the data on economic hardship and housing unaffordability is undeniable and deeply troubling, it does not tell the whole story. It does not capture the spirit of resilience, the bonds of friendship, and the moments of profound joy that also define life here. Behind the stigma and the statistics lies a community with a unique and vibrant soul, one forged in the crucible of shared experience and youthful aspiration. Life in Isla Vista, for all its challenges, is also a time of immense personal growth and discovery. For tens of thousands of young people, it is their first taste of independence. It is a place where lifelong friendships are made, where intellectual horizons are expanded, and where the lessons learned outside the classroom are often as important as those learned within. The very density and walkability of the town foster a powerful sense of community. There is an unspoken camaraderie among its residents, a shared understanding of the absurdities and difficulties of life in this strange, beautiful, and flawed paradise. The struggles themselves can become a source of strength and solidarity. The fight for tenants' rights, the push for greater community resources, and the efforts to create a safer and more inclusive environment are all part of the Isla Vista story. There is a growing awareness and a rising tide of activism aimed at addressing the town's systemic problems. This is not a passive community, it is one that is actively grappling with its identity and fighting for a better future. The soul of Isla Vista is not one of despair, but of a gritty, determined optimism in the face of adversity. Ultimately, the true nature of life in Isla Vista lies in its contradictions. It is a place of struggle and of beauty, of anxiety and of joy, of transience and of intense, unforgettable experience. It is a community that is much more than the sum of its statistical shortcomings. To understand it, one must look beyond the label and see the human story unfolding on its streets, in its crowded apartments, and along its spectacular coastline. It is a story of youth, of challenge, and of the enduring quest for a place to belong, however imperfect and however temporary that place may be.